So I'm really excited. We're in line for the panel now to see Roger L. Jackson speak for the Q&A. Should be fun.
Yeah, what's your favorite scary movie?
What's your favorite scary movie?
So I wasn't actually allowed to record the conversation with Roger L. Jackson during the Q&A,
Are you writing this down?
but I did take a bunch of notes, and I'll tell you about the conversation now. And I took a bunch of pictures. Thank you for clicking on my video. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that you did. aka Mr. Flickster. And I'm here to talk motion pictures. So I'm really excited. This is my first convention ever. My very first Comic Con. And I thought the best person to share it with is my godfather. Say hello, Steve.
Hi.
We're gonna have some fun. Oh. Here's the Niagara Falls skyline. It's in all of its glory. And here's a bird's eye view of the gorgeous Niagara Falls. I think the face ghost mask is super creepy. No, darling. It's called the Ghostface mask. Nope. It's the face ghost mask worn by Ghostface. Oh, never mind.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Who are you?
Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. I promise.
Before I start, please keep in mind that I'm not quoting him directly unless otherwise specified. I was just writing down frantically as he was talking.
Why do you always answer a question with a question?
I'm inquisitive.
The first question was, how would he rank the Scream films? He says he doesn't really like doing that, but he has a special place in his heart for the first film for obvious reasons, and the fourth film because of the message of using social media as a mask, because people do terrible things behind the mask, just like people do and say horrible things online that you would never say to a person's face.
You're the dumb blonde with the big tits. We'll have some fun with you before you die.
The next question was, where is Scream 6 being filmed? He replied, in Montreal in a couple of weeks, as of June 5th, the time of the Q&A.
Preview of coming events.
That's when I asked him, how did he come up with that unique, iconic voice of his for the role of Ghostface?
Surprise, Sydney.
He replied by reading the script. It all started when Drew Barrymore asked for an actor to be on set to react to instead of just the script supervisor. He said everything he needed was in the script itself. He attended an audition in the Bay Area, and the opening scene was used for the audition. He found the voice by being interested enough to keep her on the phone. They liked him so much that they kept him on, and then that started the tradition of him being on set, unseen by the actors, for all the phone call scenes later in the franchise.
The question isn't, who am I? The question is, where am I?
An example he used was the popcorn conversation in that opening scene.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Uh-huh.
I only eat popcorn at the movies.
He had to be smooth to seduce her into a conversation, but goes dark when the timing is just right.
You listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
Someone else asked, how did you train yourself to become a voice actor? He attended a school in the Bay Area to study the various disciplines of voice acting. That's where he learned the difference between performances in cartoons, promos, live-action voiceovers, toys, and books on tape, because there's different methods to doing each one. He not only learned how to master his craft, but he also learned the technical and the business aspects of it too, while attending that school. Although he never actually said the name of the school he went to. The next question was, what are some of your all-time favorite movies?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Some of the ones he mentioned were City Lights with Charlie Chaplin, The Last Picture Show, Best Years of Our Lives, Amelia, Delicatessen, City of the Lost Children, The Gate, and I, Madman. That's when I asked him, what made him return to the Scream franchise after such a long gap between parts 4 and 5? His answer was simply, they asked him to return. And he gladly accepted. He loves playing the role of Ghostface.
Remember me?
What do you want?
I want you. It's showtime.
Somebody else asked, aside from Ghostface, who are some of your favorite characters that you've played? Some of the ones he mentioned were Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. From the Alice games, he enjoyed being the Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, and the Jabberwocky, and he loved doing over 50 different voices for American McGee's Grimm before that.
So listen, darling, can you believe that some people think knives are scary? Well, I guess they have a point.
The next question was, have you ever been approached to play the Joker? And could you also play Batman and play against yourself? This got a really good reaction from the audience, and everybody burst out laughing. Mr. Jackson replied with, he's never been asked, but he has done multiple characters in the same scene and played against himself before, and he loves doing that. He thinks it's a lot of fun.
Can you handle that? Blondie.
There was a bit of a pause, so I jumped at the chance to ask him if it was true that he never met the cast while filming all the Scream films. He replied, yes, for the first 4. He was sequestered and nobody told anybody who he was, so the cast would just walk by him and not think anything of it. He told a humorous anecdote about meeting Janie Kennedy in the laundry room of a hotel. Kennedy asked him if he knew anything about fabric softener. He replied no, and then Kennedy went about his business.
I'm not interrupting anything, am I? You three look deep in thought.
As he put it, and I quote, there's nothing scarier than the monster you create in your own mind, end quote. Because without a face to associate the voice, the fear takes over the mind, and the cast gives better performances that way. It wasn't until they started doing the convention circuits that he formally met them. The next question was, has the rapper Ghostface Killah from the Wu-Tang Clan ever reached out to him, and would he ever work with them if he did? This was another one that got a positive reaction from the audience. We all got a good laugh from that one. He replied, no, he hasn't heard from him, but he said that would be great to work with them. Then he made many Wu-Tang Clan song references, which I was surprised by, and I think that's pretty amazing, if you ask me, because I wouldn't expect him to know something like that. After another pause, I had the chance to ask another question. So I asked him, how different did it feel on set of Scream 5, working without Wes after working with him on 4 films? He replied with, and I quote, Wes was Wes. He's truly one of a kind and a true gentleman. It was wonderful to work with him." End quote. Then he went on to explain how one of the things he loved about Ready or Not was that combination of humor and horror, which is hard to do. Providing comedy makes the horror that much greater, which is what Scream is all about.
He continued by describing the biggest difference. He said he wasn't actually on set for Part 5. They filmed in North Carolina while he did his dialogue live remotely via satellite from his home in California.
Funny story. He made up that tick-tock, tick-tock, time's running out Terra line, and they loved it so much that they made callbacks to it later in the film.
Time's running out. Tick tock, 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 tick.
The next question was, did they let you know that you weren't going to be in the Scream TV show before it was made? The answer was, they didn't ask him, and it didn't bother him. He respects them wanting to go in a new direction. During season 3, however, a new producer was hired on, and he asked him personally to return to the role, and he gladly accepted. He loved how he had to fight Tony Todd, too. Then someone asked, "Do you have any advice for aspiring voice actors?" That's when he quoted June Foray from an interview that he read about her, and she said, "Stay out of my way, you're my competition." On a more serious note, he said, and I quote, "Become an actor first beforehand, because it's all about control of technique in performance. Acting is learned by being in front of an audience." End quote. He went on to tell us an anecdote about one of the greatest experiences he had. He was hired to read to children at a local elementary school, and he loved it because how honest kids are about his performance. He also recommended the D. Bradley Baker's website, iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. He explained how everything that you want to know about being a voice actor is all there. Once again, that website was iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. Why does Ghostface always call his victims first? He's got a big mouth.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
That's when Steve, my godfather, asked him, "What's your favorite scary movie?" While he didn't give a definitive answer, he said he liked all kinds of subgenres of horror movies, especially older films, and he loved when suspense, storytelling, and filmmaking were put before gore and spectacle.
Scary night, isn't it? With the murders and all, it's like right out of a horror movie or something.
And the final question was a follow-up to Steve's, "Who's your favorite horror movie slasher?" And without missing a beat, in the voice, he responded, "No one is better at what he does than Ghostface." And the audience roared in laughter and applause.
Oh, poor Sydney. You think this is all about you? You think you're still the star?
I just wanted to thank Roger L. Jackson for taking the time to come to Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, and talk to his fans the way that he did. It's pretty awesome that you did that, considering everything going on right now. You know, with the pandemonium these days. I made it a point not to do my impression in front of him, too, because I'm pretty sure people don't like that. And I don't want to annoy him.
Wrong guy, dead boy.
And I want to thank HorrorBuzz.com for making this all happen.
So, just for kicks and gigs, in honor of Roger L. Jackson, here's some of my personal favorite Ghostface quotes.
Hello, Sydney. I never said I was in your closet.
Who is this?
I think you know. I'm a fan of scary movies and knives.
I want to play a game. Then he dies right now.
What did you do with Marnie?
She's on the cutting room floor.
Never say who's there. Don't you watch scary movies? It's a death wish.
That's not funny.
This isn't a comedy. It's a horror film. People live, people die, and you'd better start running.
Hello, Ted.
You wish it was Ted. Don't forget to set the alarm. You might as well just come out here to investigate a strange noise or something.
Forget watching, Stab. You get to live it.
Why are you even here, Randy? You'll never be the leading man.
You do know there are cops all over this house.
I think I'd have just enough time to slice someone open. Think of me as your director. You're in my movie. You got a fun part, so don't blow it.
What?
Do you like scary movies, Sydney? Can't get him on the phone, can you? He must be busy.
How do I know you're anywhere near him?
Ever seen the movie Psycho?
What do you want?
To see what your insides look like. I've got plans for you. I'm gonna slit your eyelids in half so you don't blink when I stab you in the face. Have you ever felt a knife cut through human flesh and scrape the bone beneath? But if you want to be in the hospital, I'd be happy to put you there. In the morgue! Poor Billy boyfriend. An innocent guy doesn't stand a chance with you. No matter how hard you try, you'll never be the hero, and you'll never, ever get the girl.
Hey! Is this Trevor?
Do I sound like a Trevor to you? Not gonna make it in time, Sheriff Judy. Sydney Prescott, please.
I'm handling Miss Prescott's calls and appearances. May I take a message?
You are the message. It's an honor.
Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. Till next time, I'm Noah, film critic extraordinaire. Meow, meow, meow.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live, so I'll leave links below for that too. You should check it out when you get a chance.
Nothing's ever as it seems. My time is coming, it's too late now.